Okay, I think we are live.
Oh, just a minute.
It shows me that we are live, so I think we probably are live. Webinars are now live streaming on custom live streaming service. So I will go ahead and get started with sharing my screen here.
Yes, we're live now.
Okay, thank you, Sarosh. So welcome everyone to the information session for Large Language Models Bootcamp. My name is Raja Iqbal. I am the Chief Data Scientist and one of the lead instructors at Data Science Dojo. I'm going to talk about some of the large language models bootcamp related offerings that we have. We have different offerings. There's an in-person bootcamp. It's a 5-day, 40-hour bootcamp that we'll look into. And then we are also creating shorter versions of courses that are instructor-led live courses, interactive live courses. But in case you cannot make it to the bootcamp for various reasons, I mean, traveling to the location where the bootcamp is happening, you can still attend the bootcamp within the comfort of your home or your office. So I'm going to talk about all of those, and then in general, answer any questions that all of you may have. We are one of the oldest players in the bootcamp in data science upskilling space, and also one of the most credible players in this space, right? So very focused courses. We are not purely a training company. Anything that we teach, we also do those things, right? So if we are teaching large language models, we are actually building large language models related products. If you talk about fine tuning or RAG, we are actually doing all of that in our day-to-day work. 11,000 plus graduates, more than 3,000 companies globally. These are numbers that, I mean, honestly, the numbers have moved on, but global impact, right? So we have been around for a while, and then we are known for the highest quality boot camps in industry. So how did the bootcamp actually start, right? So the bootcamp actually started about, I would say, 8 to 9 months ago, when we started, when ChatGPT and Bard and Anthropic, they started to become mainstream, and then companies, they started adopting. And we started building these solutions for companies. And, we go and use ChatGPT. We ask it a question, write a poem for me, write a social media post for me, write a letter or maybe write an email to a customer who's upset. I mean, I don't know, generate a product plan for me. We realized when we started building these products for our customers that while ChatGPT and Bard and other tools out there, they make building these applications, they make them look quite easy. I would say deceptively easy. But when you actually start building something that has some direct business implication, then you are an enterprise. There are a lot of things that you have to worry about, right? So, ChatGPT may be free, but when you deploy an application in your own enterprise, the token usage and costs, they are a consideration. Then when you talk about how big the documents can be. I mean, do the documents fit in the context window of your models that you're using or not? There are regulatory challenges. I mean, easier, it may look, I mean, what's the big deal? But really, when you are deploying these tools when there is a business impact and you are accountable to your shareholders, your customers, and the government and the regulatory bodies, there are actually some concerns. Even when you are, as an engineer, you have to worry about those concerns. Your proprietary data, how do you guard your data? How do you make sure that your data is not leaked? Or your proprietary data or intellectual property stays safe? there you have to worry about the inference latencies, the data governance, and whether you use an open source or a closed source model. The lack of reproducibility. Can you reproduce the results? And when is it okay to use a model? Um, in what scenarios would you use worry about reproducibility? In what scenarios you won't? I mean, hallucination, big problem. I think even if if you have ever used one of these tools, you already know what hallucination is. The knowledge source is changing, right? It's not, you have new customer tickets, you have new orders, you have new situations that are arriving. How do you actually handle those? How do you evaluate your models? How do you design your prompts that they are not very brittle? They don't actually break your application. So all of these are subtle issues. These are very interesting, fascinating technical issues, right? So I split my time between, of course, teaching at the bootcamp and also working on the other side where we have built a product, and we have some of the big companies globally that are our customers, and we have built some LLM applications and some tools for these companies. They are actively using it in customer support, sales and marketing, education, edtech. We are an edtech company as well, right? So we are helping these companies use these tools that are actually increasing their productivity by 20, 30, 50x. So we have different offerings. I will walk you through all of them very quickly. Of course, our flagship product in the LLM space is our large language models bootcamp. This is an in-person bootcamp that happens in different cities. The next one is coming up starting next Monday on April 22nd. This is our large language models bootcamp. This is a 40-hour immersive program. So you come in, even if you don't have any background in building large language model applications, we are very confident you leave with a working, deployed, web application. You don't need to know any web development. You don't have to worry about that. So you leave with a working application. Then we have this. The idea is that you come in person. You start within 1 week. There's no context switch, right? So 8-9 hours a day. You spend time. You finish the capstone project, and the next week when you go back to work, you're already productive. And then we have this shorter version of courses, though, for those who cannot make it to the live training, or rather the in-person training, then we have these live interactive trainings. They're shorter duration, somewhat more affordable. And then sometimes, hey, I already know vector databases. What should I do? I only am interested in LangChain. What should I do? No problem. You can always, pick and choose. You can bootcamp as well, the entire bootcamp and the live instructor-led courses. They are shorter courses that you can attend. And then we have self-paced courses that I will show you as well. So in the bootcamp, it's I have to say we are the only bootcamp, right? So I cannot even say we are the best, because we are the only bootcamp in the world at the moment. We are the first one to actually launch a bootcamp, the first one to industry, and then we have gone to market with actually some very credible partners, right? So we have some of the most credible names in industry in the LLM and generative AI space. They are our partners. They are actually involved in teaching this bootcamp with us. So, and I will show you in a bit about who is involved and what topics they will be involved in. Hands-on exercises, right? So this is a very, very practical, very hands-on bootcamp, right? So, and more hands-on than many people expect, right? So even some of the partners, they were amazed at when they looked at the curriculum. Many of the partners, they said, we would like to send our own workforce to this, because this is comprehensive. And then we have a project as well. These are all of our partners, right? So if you look at this, actually, different people involved from different companies. So we have in different areas, right? So the foundation model, the vector databases, etc. And then once you, what we do here is when you come in, a lot of times, there are other hidden costs around when you register for a training. Hey, yes, I register for the training, but I have to go and sign up for OpenAI, or I have to go and sign up for this cloud service. What we do here is um, you're completely hands off. Bring in a browser-enabled computer. Everything is built into our sandboxes. We have browser-based coding sandboxes. We will take care of your LLM generative AI. That token consumption cost. We'll give you a GPU cloud when we do the fine-tuning exercise. We have hundreds of maybe more than 1,000 code samples. We do a few dozen during the boot camp, and we leave the rest for you, so you can be actually working on those exercises as you learn. And then also, as we improve the curriculum, I mean, if we have a new talk, if we have talk or we have a module that we added, this time we started doing that even the alumni who have already graduated from our first bootcamp, we invite them back if we have some interesting speaker. So we invite them through a Zoom call, and they actually can keep up to date. So it's not that 1 week and your relationship with us ends. We actually keep adding value to your learning, and we help you with your growth even after you have graduated. Then we have some guest talks with real case studies from big companies. As you spend more time in industry, you realize that technology is only. Yes, technology is important. It's a piece in the puzzle, but technology should be employed or deployed in business context, right? So, and we emphasize even our other boot camps, other trainings, we are known for actually spending time. Even our deeply technical trainings, we actually talk about the business context. I mean, when to do this and when to do that, because at the end of the day, anyone can write code, anyone can build applications, but not everyone can build applications that are scalable, that are going to cost less, they are maintainable and all of that. So we actually talk about all of those best practices in addition to talking about technology. So discuss various engineering and cultural challenges. As I said, hands-on exercises with all topics. And then at the end of the bootcamp, building an LLM application. Let me actually walk you through the curriculum here. Let me actually go here on this course page. If you look at this is our lineup for speakers. You can see, we have been adding more people. I mean, some people may show up this time, some people may not, right? So, but the most recent ones that we have added is, for instance, right? So, Security AI, these are our brand new partners, and BV8 is also our brand new partner. We need to update the website here. But Security AI is actually in the business of data and AI governance. If you look at this, as we start building generative AI applications, knowing proper data and AI governance is important. So I will explain what that module does. So, I mean, if you look at this is our lineup of speakers, and we are constantly adding and optimizing the list of speakers to bring the best and the brightest from industry and the most experienced people from industry. So it should not be merely an exercise on running a few Python notebooks. There's a knowledge part of things, and there's a wisdom part of things, and we want to make sure that there are people who are wiser than us. We actually hear from them. How have they built things that have benefited their companies? So let me go back and talk about this. And let me go back and talk about the curriculum. 5-day bootcamp. We start with the idea of the general idea of what is give you an overall end-to-end overview of what does the entire ecosystem look like. So 2 to 3 hours, we kick off the bootcamp with giving you the breadth, right? So before we go dive deep into each of the components, we talk about why do you need embeddings and how have embeddings evolved, and then we talk about vector database. Why do you need a vector database? What does retrieval mean in a vector database? What does indexing mean in a vector database? What is drag? What is fine tuning? What are the relative issues? What are the risks? Why do you need guardrails? And so give you an end-to-end view in 2 to 3 hours. So we start with that, and then we start going and start drilling down deeper into each of the components that you have been exposed to already. So you have a bigger understanding of how is an application created. Then after that, when we talk about, we start diving deeper, then we start drilling down into embeddings. And then we start with the classic way of embeddings, starting with one-hot encoding, talking about TF-IDF, count-based TF-IDF, n-grams, and then word-to-vec and all of that. So basically, slowly move toward different approaches, or different, slowly move towards the different improvements over time in how we used embeddings. And then once you have done that, once we have talked about it, every theoretical discussion is going to be followed by a practical exercise. So if you look at this, we talked about embeddings, we have this practical exercise. You can see that, and now in this case, you can see that this is, you can hear, you can see all of these, all of you, anyone who registers, they will have a dedicated account in our Jupyter Notebook sandboxes. You can modify this lab if you like. You can make a copy, download if you like. That's okay with us. Do whatever you need to do, and then run it, modify it, and play around with this. And you have many more exercises. You can see that we do some exercises in class, and we give some of these exercises for you to follow on your own when you have time, maybe as a homework, maybe the next week after the bootcamp. Then we talk about attention mechanism and transformer architecture, right? So Luis Serrano, he's the one who teaches it, right? So he goes over. Then we do the hands-on exercise. Now that you have the embeddings, what do you do with these embeddings? How do you store them efficiently? Then we start with, and VV8 is our partner, one of the leading vector databases in the space. So we'll have one of our partners from VV8 that will come and talk about all the challenges, or maybe start with why vector databases are needed. How do you index? How do you store? And then after that, how do you optimize? How do you quantize for when you have too many embeddings? How do you how do you optimize your vector database? And that same thing, right? So once you have finished vector databases, you will go and we will give you everything. If it is needed that you have a vector database deployed in already that you want to access, or if you want to create it, this is going to happen. You can see that creating a search index, we'll go through it, loading data into this, executing search. These exercises are happening in class by instructors, and you're following along, right? So you can see in the URL, it is right now, you can see there is my name here. Then you will have your own sandbox, and it is going to be built in. Then we actually talk about semantic search. I mean, basically, it's the same module. We talk about prompt engineering. Our prompt engineering exercises are there. Let me show you here. It's a short module because we don't have a lot of time to spend on prompt engineering. We have some deeper issues that we need to discuss, but to give you an idea, it is there. And we also have some really useful self-paced learning material that you can use. For instance, we have these prompt engineering sandboxes, right? So if you would like to practice prompt engineering, you can see this here. I have this a separate prompt engineering sandbox. I can open it in a new window. I'm going to go and copy. I don't know what this is, but I just copied and pasted without paying attention. But you can see that any prompt engineering exercise that you want to do, many prompt engineering courses are, hey, do this, do that. This is the best practice, chain of thought, chain of table and all of that. Well, it's great. But over here, we are giving you this option. For instance, if I change the temperature, what's going to happen? So, and this is included in your registration. So we actually, you can see that I changed the temperature in top P, and you can see that it is giving me some gibberish. So you get a practical experience. It is not some blog or some course that you're reading. You have the ability to go and practice this in our learning environment. So that is there. And then we get into fine-tuning business. When we talk about fine-tuning, we start with transfer learning, fine-tuning. Why do you need fine-tuning? Contextualizing it. Then we go on to talk about quantization, low rank adaptation, what is LoRa, QLoRa. We talk about all of that. And then we give you, everyone gets a dedicated GPU cluster. Thanks to one of our partners, they actually give us credits for that. RunPod does it. And we give you those GPU credits. And then as a result of that, and we also give you a Llama 2 model, that's 4-bit quantized, 7 billion parameter model. We give you the data set. We walk, again, instructor-guided exercise. We walk you through, this is how we are fetching the model from Hugging Face. Then we did this, and then we did this, and then we did this. And then when you are done with it, you evaluate your fine-tuned model with a model that was not fine-tuned and compare and contrast how the responses were. So there is a lot of value in it, right? So attending a course where someone is talking about fine-tuning, or actually attending a lecture followed by doing fine-tuning yourself. Definitely, reading a book on how to ride a bicycle or how to swim in a swimming pool, that's different than actually diving, taking a plunge, and then starting to swim in maybe open water, right? So I think there is no replacement, no substitute, and we are known for that idea that, yes, great courses out there on many of the MOOCs, but at the end of the day, things in theory. We actually, a course on open water swimming, right? So, you go there, you have to worry about this and that, right? So, but we actually, when you actually experience the frigid water, maybe the lake, there are going to be boats just there. You don't go here, don't go there, right? So there is instructions and there's practical experience. The bootcamp is about actually tossing you in a lake and letting you actually swim and survive. So when you go back, you're better prepared for real world, right? So it's not a theory course, it's a practical course. So then we have domain-specific models. We talk about why do you need a domain-specific model? So this is on how do you create conversational models. So once again, we talk about this, and we have a hands-on exercise. We spent quite a bit of time on LangChain. LangChain, I'm sure if you're here, you must have heard of LangChain already. LangChain, we talk about all the LangChain components. Let me actually go and perhaps bring it up here. So if you look at this, this is our LangChain module. We'll bring it up, LangChain for LLM application development, right? So if you look at this, all the LangChain components, I think this is the longest or lengthiest module that we have. So we start with model IO. If you look at this, prompt templates, example selector, chat models, and the same drill that I showed you. You click on it, exercise pops up. How do you create templates? You can see that it is asking for an OpenAI key. We give you the OpenAI keys. We bear the cost of that OpenAI expense. You can see that we are using GPT 3.5 Turbo. Plug in the OpenAI key, and this also shows you. Sometimes people say, "Hey, I'm not actively coding." As long as you can read code, you will be fine. If you have a use case, even if you're a technical product manager, if you're a product manager who wants to build products, but you have not coded in a while, or you're not a coder by training, we have a Python tutorial, about 2-hour tutorial that is good enough for you to ramp up on Python that is needed for this course. And after that, that's it, right? So, you run these notebooks, run, and you can see it is not letting me run this notebook because I've not provided it the API key. But once I have provided it the API key, it should actually work. I mean, you can see that it should be actually working if I did that. So even if you don't have a coding background, but you want to actually learn large language models, this is the training for you. But if you have never coded, you don't know what coding means. Of course, I'm not advocating that. But if you can code in one language, maybe you have coded. If you can write SQL, you generally understand what you're dealing with. You will be fine. I mean, we have had people who did not know coding and they survived, or survived is probably not the best word. They actually did quite well in the depending upon what they expected. And if you have any doubts, please feel free to set up a time with us, and we are going to happy to help you in deciding whether this bootcamp is for you or not. Fine-tuning, conversational AI models, LangChain, I've talked about it. Then observability and evaluation. How do you actually log everything that your model is doing? I mean, I asked this question, I asked that question. How do you put guardrails around your prompts? How do you put guardrails around your responses? How do you prevent your model from giving any information that it should not be giving? You deployed a model. I think there's a relevant example. Air Canada actually recently deployed this model that it was a LLM-based chatbot, customer support bot. One of the customers who was visiting a family in a different city, maybe from Vancouver to Toronto, and the chatbot offered bereavement fares. You go ahead, buy a ticket. When you come back, you will get 80% or 90% back. The customer said, very well, went for attending the funeral, came back and called Air Canada, where is my money? And Air Canada says, what money? I mean, bereavement fare, we don't offer, but some airlines do. Air Canada did not. And then whoever developed that application did not understand certain things about how to build the models, guardrails, and these kind of oversight on your model to prevent it from doing these things. That is very relevant, right? So we actually talk about all of those cases and how do you build applications that are secure? How do you build applications that actually do not result in any adverse business impact for you? So the court actually ruled in favor of the customer, and then Air Canada had to actually pay. An interesting court ruling. We are living in interesting times where new precedents are going to be set up, right? So if it was your chatbot, you are responsible, right? So you cannot say, hey, it was generative AI and we are not responsible as Air Canada. You owe the customer that bereavement fare. Fix your chatbot because your chatbot actually told the customer, and then pay the customer that credit. Then we have a proper module on evaluation. We talk about evaluation in detail. How do you evaluate in fraud detection, for instance. You can actually have a model if it is a fraud or not a fraud. Supervised learning, yeah, I mean, evaluation is easy. But what if I have the response of the chatbot is correct, but it is worded differently? So there are a lot of, once again, there's a lot of subtleties and a lot of finer points that we need to be aware of. So we talk about evaluation in detail. And then once again, when I go to evaluation, I'm going to look at the practical exercises. There are practical exercises for evaluation. So everything, I'm not going to go and click on every module, but I will go show you this occasionally. You can see that we are talking about, different ways of evaluating. And then we are going to actually go through this evaluation criteria. These notebooks may look intimidating, but by the end of, by the time we reach there, you will already fairly understand why this looks like this and so on. So, I mean, we have had great success with people actually ramping up on these. We also have added one module that may not be here, but it is going to be added. What we have built, we have been building a product that has customers, and that product has actually taught a lot. And one of the things is, building a basic RAG application, it is a piece of cake. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. Building a basic RAG application, a simple RAG application, retrieval augmented generation application, it's a piece of cake. But as you get more complex use cases, RAG actually becomes very complicated, right? So you have all the way to, a single data source, a single document to, a big document repository. And then you talk about semantic search and lexical search and how do you the interplay between the two, the rank fusion. So we have a module on advanced RAG application, because RAG is going to be for most companies, RAG is going to be the paradigm of choice for building LLM applications for most enterprises. So we talk about, even though we teach fine tuning, but we think that RAG is going to be the paradigm of choice. There are issues like access control. Let's say if I built an application and I uploaded a document, and I should have access to the document. Someone else also has access to the application. Now, should they be able to see the response or not? What about multi-agent type situation? And we talk about a lot of these subtle issues that actually can have a lot of impact in your success in this LLM adoption journey. Then we also have one of our partners, Vectera. They actually come and talk about RAG in a box. They actually, in case your enterprise has certain limitations, maybe you are one of those who doesn't, you're not the technology company. You just want something that, easy to adopt. So they basically offer a RAG platform that you can use. So we have a talk and a tutorial and a hands-on exercise from Vectera. And then we also have Security AI. We have Security AI. They are in data and AI governance for RAG applications. So they will be talking about that. On the last day, we will actually learn how to deploy, operationalize these models or these applications. And then in addition to that, on the last day, we are going to actually build an end-to-end application. And once again, even if you're not a coder, we know what we are doing. We know exactly. I personally trained 8,000 plus people in a face-to-face setting. So, I consider myself an educator first before anything else. So what we have done is we have built the entire infrastructure in a way, or built the entire pedagogy or the entire the structure of the bootcamp in a way that even if you're not a coder, you should be able to actually get by with it. So what we do on the last day is we give you, every attendee gets a VM, a virtual machine, and login credentials. You log in, you already have a web application code that is running. You have, your coding ID is already installed. We walk you through the code. and you connect it with your GitHub account, you create a Streamlit account, you push your app, and you have your first RAG application deployed. And then we give you exercises depending upon who you are. I mean, if you are a hardcore coder, by the end of the training, you have tons of ideas. You go and modify the functions. So the basic skeleton of the web application is there. Streamlit makes it very easy. And then we give you exercises. Can you add this chain to it? I mean, can you add more documents? Can you create a prompt template? Can you create a Wikipedia or a DuckDuckGo or a Google agent, right? So we, depending upon what level you are at before you came to the bootcamp, you get different mileage out of it, of course, but everyone leaves with a working RAG application. And everyone completely understand how it is done, and your ability to go and build. Of course, it depends upon. We are not selling snake oil here, right? So if you are not the best coder, we are not teaching coding here, but you absolutely understand how LLM applications are built. So I'm very confident anyone who is in technology can actually finish the course without worrying about the coding skills. But whether you will be able to build, cutting edge new applications and new products, it will depend upon your prior background, right? So because we are not teaching you the fundamentals of distributed systems here, we are not teaching you how to create a Lambda or a Azure function. We are not teaching you the subtleties of cloud infrastructure. So, but in general, if you are here for understanding the LLM ecosystem, as I keep saying, right? So we are the only bootcamp, so you have to be the best, right? But on a serious note, we have given it a lot of thought. Every bootcamp we learn, and we have been improving every time. That is it. And I see a barrage of questions in my chat here. Let me see. I will answer them in the order they arrive. And if you are attending a live stream, please ask the question in whatever channel I think we are live streaming this on YouTube and LinkedIn or any other place. Please, post your question there, and then it will be routed to me. Okay. Are you planning for online bootcamp? Yes, we are planning for, we already have announced some of the bootcamps. We will not be offering this entire bootcamp in a 5-day format online unless, I have seen people who can do it, but most people, they would not want to sit on a Zoom call for 5 days straight, okay? So, but what I can show you here is, I can show you what we have. Where is that? Let me see. I think I tried to open it somewhere here, but I can open it again, never mind. So if you look at this, we have recently announced this. So we are breaking this course down into shorter courses. So this is the very introductory course. This is the entire bootcamp, the in-person bootcamp. But if you want to finish this step by step, so this is large language models for everyone. What that means is, no matter what background you're coming from, you can be a lawyer, you can be a technology professional. Of course, don't get me wrong here. You can be a hardcore technologist. You can be someone who has never done any technology, but you want to know what is all of this about. And we are going to actually teach you, what is all this buzz about? What are LLMs and what are LLMs and what is generative AI? What is prompt engineering? And how is everything structured, right? So this is a very short half-day course. This is live online, and you will get access to the resources to this related to this course. Then Mastering LangChain. This is our full-day course that actually will anyone who wants to be an an LLM application developer. If you want to build your own RAG application, LangChain is a must-have skill. Llama Index, LangChain, all of them. So this is the course. This is a full-day course, 1 day. And the courses are actually very interactive. You are going to, you can ask questions the same way. The labs that we have that I was showing you, the same structure. It is just the LangChain course that you have. I should have mentioned all of our courses also come with a certificate from the University of New Mexico with credit, continuing education credit. So if your company requires the course to have some kind of CEUs for reimbursement process, yes, we have our certification. You can actually request a transcript from the University of New Mexico with, of course, relevant credit. So we have this academic partnership with them. So this is, and we will be adding more courses. It may look like, hey, what's the big deal? Add more courses, but I mean, each course actually takes an insane amount of effort that we are trying to, we are trying to add more courses as time permits. Let me see. What other are you planning to? Yeah, this is done. Then laptop screen will not help me, hence exploring. Do you allow me to bring my own extra? Oh, absolutely, Suresh. Bring your own external monitor as long as it can fit in our classroom. It should be fine. So please feel free to, right? So I think, and you don't have to bring your external monitor. We may be able to, because the Seattle training is actually happening in our facility, and then we have actually we should be able to actually offer you extra monitor if you need to. Okay. I joined late. How much is the cost? So the cost of the boot camp right now, it is basically based on the demand and the supply. Right now, it is at $34.99 for the Seattle Bootcamp. So basically, depending upon what seats, how many seats are remaining, and how full the bootcamp is, it changes. Reach out to us, and we are happy to actually help you out and guide you with that. To find out, let me actually go here. Yeah. So let me go here. Okay. So where is the other question? Is there a link for that course? Yes. So Ridwan, there is a link for the course. You can check it out. You can check it out here. It is on our website. You can take a look at that. Prerequisites required for this course. All you need to do is have some commitment, some drive, and maybe a little bit of programming experience. We will take care of everything else. Then again, the same question, please share the prerequisites skills required. Can you share info about your Python course? Are you referring to the Python course that we offer? Are you talking about the Python prerequisite? Because the prerequisite Python, it's part of this. And it is already included. And as soon as you sign up, we'll send you that link to that tutorial. What is the price and schedule for the 4 to 8 hour LLM short courses? I mentioned that even though the list is not complete. You can see that we have only 2 more courses, but we have a course coming up with fine tuning. We have a course coming up in prompt engineering. We have a course coming up in observability and evaluation and guardrails. So we will be actually announcing those as we proceed. Where is the in-person bootcamp located, right? So we have offered these bootcamps in different locations, but currently the next bootcamp is happening in Seattle. And we plan to actually offer it more frequently within Seattle. So let us know what location Ruth, what location you are considering. Let us know, because it takes I think I did not mention, right? So when you are when we announce a bootcamp in a different city, the biggest challenge is not actually the training itself, it is the logistics, right? Getting the venue, because we don't cut corners in venues. I mean, you have to have some proper chairs, proper tables, ergonomic chairs, and all of that, right? So we need to make sure that, I mean, it's 8 hours a day, and we have to make sure that you have hot breakfast, hot lunch, coffee and refreshments and all of that during the day. So it takes a bit of the logistics tends to be it is difficult finding a venue for the boot camp. We are based in Seattle, so it's very easy to offer a boot camp in Seattle. For other places, we have done boot camps in 17 different locations globally when it comes to our data science boot camp. But for LLM boot camp, we have done it in DC and Austin, and likely we will go back to DC and Austin and possibly add New York as well. But not at this point. I mean, there's nothing at this point that we have planned, but letting you know what we have done in the past, and then future will decide. Are there any boot camps in San Francisco Bay Area? Ashish, if you can convince the state of California to regulate their regulatory bodies, they are actually too active, and it's very hard to actually deal with their regulators. So we are not going to be doing anything in San Francisco Bay Area. Unfortunately, we know that that is the place to be. But the problem is that jumping through the regulatory hoops, it is not worth the effort. So we don't plan to offer anything in California. Okay. Do you know any good site for AI code assistance for Python code when I do not have a computer science background? Actually, as a matter of fact, you can actually come and sign up. We have some free courses that offer AI code assistance for Python. If you go to online.datasciencedojo.com, pick up data visualization using Python. Click on it. So there is a course. This is a free course. Anyone can sign up. Histograms. And then you can see that if I run, it is giving me this histogram. And now, let's say let me just add a syntax error intentionally here, right? So if I did that, it will tell me. And then when I go to the AI tutor, so AI tutor is going to help me. And then, I can actually, it is suggesting me some exercises. It is telling me, write a Python program to create a line plot of given array of numbers. So it automatically, it is based on what you did just now. It is suggesting you, can you give me a code sample for exercise 1? And it is going to go ahead and generate a code sample for the exercise it has created. You can see that it is already giving me, that plot, the line plot that it gave me. So, Kelly, you have it available for free. Just go ahead and start. All you have to do is just go to online.datasciencedojo.com and get started. You don't have to sign up for anything to access this. Will there be office hours for the short course students? We have, because they are a single day course, we, for our other longer term, multi-week or multi-day courses, yes, we do have office hours. But for these particular courses, it's a 4-hour course, and office hours might be actually too much of a, operational overhead for us. Having said that, we are one of the most customer-centric companies. I mean, many people, even several years after attending the training, if they come in for a reasonable request, we actually accommodate those requests. I cannot make a promise, but we usually go out of the way to help people. But sometimes people would say, hey, I'm doing this work, some consulting work, and I have this problem at work. Can you help me? So those kind of things we cannot, but anything related to the material, we usually are pretty cool with that, right? So we will be happy to. But there are no officially announced office hours for the online, the short course students. Okay, and then I see users on YouTube. Will these videos be available for later usage? Yes, only for the bootcamp attendees. As a matter of fact, we actually, if there is a new session that is we have added that the previous bootcamp attendees did not have, we actually make these the sessions available or live sessions available. Let's say we have a new speaker. We think that we think that someone who previously attended the bootcamp and now this is a great talk that we have added, we will actually go ahead and invite you to the live session. And then in addition to that, you can see that we have the recordings from the previous session. So yes, we do have these recordings from previous sessions that are available. And then we have questions in the Q&A tab. Is there any new module focused on development of multi-agent systems? Krish, yes, we have it. But I mean, looks like that you have been dabbling with this. So we do actually talk about multi-agent systems as well. But to what degree of detail, I want to be honest to you, it's a, because it's a 40-hour boot camp, you have to cover so many things. So we do talk about, how do you create a multi-agent system in LangChain, but nothing very complex. But yes, there is a multi-agent system. When we talk about agents here, let me show you, where is it? LangChain agents, right? So if you look at this, so we do talk about it here. You can see that in practical exercise, you can see that agents and tools. So yes, I mean, we talk about it. And this exercise, I know you create multiple tools, and then it goes and talks to multiple agents. And the multi-agent question I asked above is referring during the bootcamp. Absolutely, we do it during the bootcamp. Would there be a session how to host, serve, and open LLM on a cloud platform like EC2? Krish, no, we are not going to talk about this. But I'm very, very confident that after the bootcamp, you should be able to go and do it on your own. Because yes, we will talk about all of these, but not actually in EC2 because there are so many platforms out there. Unfortunately, we cannot cover everything. And the way we approach learning is we don't approach learning as or our trainings as we are not here for a checklist. We are not there to teach everything. Our job is to actually inspire you. Our job is to really enable you and inspire you and give you the minimum background. And once you have that background, you should be able to do whatever you need to do. And we have a long history of it, right? So I mean, I'm sure that there are many other trainings and people make tall claims. Go and check out our reviews. I mean, there's I don't think any other company in our space has that many actual verified reviews on the website. You can go and check out hundreds of people on our website. They are leading positions. I mean, partners and VPs at companies who would only say good things about us, right? So we love what we do. So, but going back to it, can you do it after the bootcamp? Yes. Do we teach specifically hosting and serving an open LLM model on a cloud platform like EC2? No, we don't specifically teach this. But by the end of the bootcamp, you will be able to do it yourself. I hope I answered the question. Okay. Then let me see. Are there any other questions? I think there is. Okay. Thank you, Krish. Do we have anything left? I think this is maybe at a very high level, right? So whatever I went through is essentially this, right? If you look at this, I'm sorry, I should actually go and talk about it. So if you look at this here, we talk about the different components of, we talk about vector databases, how do you create embeddings, how we talk about orchestration or LangChain type, Llama index and all those things. We talk about semantic caching, logging, deployment, guardrails, using open source and closed source models. We use mainly, we use Llama 2 for the fine-tuning exercise, and mainly we use GPT 3.5 and 3 and GPT 4, and then we use Streamlit for application. So you can see that the entire ecosystem this is our reference architecture, right? So we actually would teach you the entire end-to-end, the bigger picture of this LLM ecosystem, and not just focus on something very specific, right? So you will leave with a general solid understanding of the entire ecosystem. And then there's so many things that, of course, I cannot cover in a single hour. And this is actually the entire curriculum. I have already gone through this. You can take a look at it. Let me see, what else do we have? This is our line of instructors. I think Sophie and Hamza are not available this time, but rest of them are going to be teaching. So you see, this is our line of instructors. Everyone is going to be there except two instructors for the Seattle Bootcamp. They are not available this time. Past testimonials. I mean, these are not some John Does and Jane Does. I mean, to go talk to these people. These people, they have been involved in the bootcamp. These are our partners. These are our customers, and these are actually right now these companies. If you look at this, these companies have actually attended our training, right? So we have been trusted by these companies. We have people traveling from all the way from Middle East and Aramco, and then all the way from Australia. People have traveled to attend this bootcamp. So, and I think that should at least show some credibility there, that people trust us. And then we have, the next one that is happening in Seattle is 2, 3, 4 days from now. It is starting. If you're in the Seattle area, that is going to happen in April. And then after that, we have another one coming up in June, about 2 months from now. And then we will be announcing more locations as our schedule permits. And the online trainings will continuously keep announcing. We have 2 trainings that are finalized in the online format. And then we will keep adding more of these. I'm happy to take any more questions that you may have. Okay, this is wonderful. Please reach out. We have shared some of the URLs with you. Set up a time. If you have any questions, set up a time with us. We are happy to guide you, help you. But I'm looking forward to seeing some of you in one of our future bootcamps or the online trainings. Thanks, everyone.